feels good. Fresh for
2021.
All right, guys, welcome to Crestcore Real Estate Hour. I'm your host, Dean Harris, and we are excited to be with you today. I've got Brooke Fitzpatrick. She looks way better than Dan does, so I hope this at least shows up better today. But we're happy to have Brooke. Most of you guys know Brooke. She's my buyer's agent. And today we're going to be talking about the 2020 kind of year in review and our 2021 outlook. At this time last year, we were not, we had no idea what was coming.
No clue.
Nope. We had an incredible 2019.
The
record-breaking one. So, yeah, we're going to dive into that in just a second. Please check out our website, www.crestcorerealty.com. If you have any questions about this podcast or any of our others, you can email me, dean@crestcore.com. If you need to get in touch with Brooke after today's show, ask any questions, it's brooke@crestcore.com, BROOKE @crestcore.com. So feel free to shoot us emails with questions and check out our website, crestcorerealty.com. Again, that's got all of our available homes, a little bio on us. You can get to know us a little bit, and all of the shows are posted there. YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast, you can check it out. Probably about an hour after we get done.
Yeah.
They're all posted up there. So, all right, let's dive into this today, Brooke. As we were starting 2019, we were celebrating, high-fiving.
Yep.
We had a great year. We're going to blow this up in 2020.
Yep.
It started off slow
Yes.
anyway for some reason. And then
I think towards the end of any year, though, people are kind of taking a break. So
everybody,
yeah.
agents,
Yeah.
wholesalers.
Yeah. They've had enough of the year.
And I do get that savvy investor, too, that comes out in December and he's like, hey, I'm lurking in the
Yeah.
bushes here. Whatever you got,
Yeah.
Send it to me. But for the overwhelming
Right.
majority.
So pretty much every January is going to be a little slow.
Yes, for the most part.
Right.
What we did not expect in 2020 was to get into late February, early March, and then all of a sudden we were introduced to COVID-19, or what it was, the coronavirus, and then I guess they switched it over to COVID-19. So that was dramatic. I remember getting calls, we got to cancel, cancel. I'm not sure what's happening.
People are freaking out.
They were freaking
just didn't
out.
know.
Didn't know. We had, I think, 28 to 29 deals set to close. We ended up closing 11.
Yep, in March.
That was a real kind of punch in the face. Like, what's happening?
What do we do now?
Right. And I know we were still coming into work at that time.
Yeah.
And then things began to change, and it was go home. So
Quarantine.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Quarantine hit what, mid-March?
Mid-March to late March, I think.
Yep.
And then in April,
that was it.
Everyone was at home.
Yeah.
I think we dipped down into single-digit closings for the first time in 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
I know we rebounded a little bit. Let's see, it was April, May.
Yeah.
But even May and June,
I think we were still maybe 20.
Maybe, and I know that sounds like a lot, but we were primed for 40.
40.
Yeah, and our budget was 40, and our goals were 40, and we were barely touching half of that. So that's kind of how, that's the first 6 months, right? We went from leaving 2019 on a real high horse, a beautiful high horse, to now we're 6 months later, and oh my God, what is happening?
Right.
You and I were both kind of looking at each other, going, "What are we going to do?"
Yeah.
We had to make layoffs in our own team.
Yeah,
we had to do unfortunate things. We had to do. We let 2 people go. 3
people.
We had one of our virtual assistants, and then two people in the office. We had to let go, which is unfortunate. We hated to do that, but I've talked to other business owners, and your pride cannot get in the way of what is happening.
Yeah. Well, we were set up to have such a good 2020.
That's what's so disappointing. It's like if we weren't on a rise,
upslope.
It might have been like, maybe this isn't the thing. But we were so ready for a big year.
Really felt the hit.
Really felt the hit. So we were still able to sell homes, and,
Right.
and we did some different things that we weren't doing. I was out doing things that we weren't
Yeah.
doing. You were doing
Right.
things that you don't normally do, and we did a great job of
Just trying to make it work.
trying to make it, adjusting from July 1st to the end of
Right.
the year.
Yep.
Our numbers, I'm going to give you some numbers here for our 2020, and I'll kind of show you and back that up. So the total numbers for the Crestcore Realty brokerage for 2020 were 293 closings. That's almost a closing a day. That's 0.80 something closings a day. 27,868,000 in volume. At the 6-month mark, though, this is what I was just referring to. We were only at 112 closings and 8.7 and some change million in
Right.
volume. So you can look at, not only did we double, but we almost tripled.
Right.
So the good news from 2020 is I think everyone
Starting to feel more comfortable.
started to feel more comfortable.
Right.
People were this is what was surprising. The biggest takeaway from 20 was the people paid rent.
Yeah.
Tenants continued to pay rent. You and I were like, oh my gosh, we're going to get houses dropping by 10,
Yep.
15, 20%.
But you can't do anything about it.
You can't do anything. No one will rent it. They're not
Right.
paying. They're all
Right.
staying. No, we can't evict anybody. What are we going to do?
Yep.
And it
That
just,
was probably the biggest question we had.
that you were getting?
Yeah, March and April. That was the
our
only
tenants paying
question.
rent.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I didn't have as many as I had now, but I was nervous.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, there's people. And then Douglas Skipworth, one of our owners who's over our company here, was talking about property management. Of course, we manage 2,500 houses,
Yeah.
3,000 houses.
So they would know.
They would know, yes, if we were coming in. So the rent continued to come in.
Right.
So what that meant was prices continued to stabilize.
Right.
They didn't drop. We
Right.
were sitting here going, holy crap, our $100,000 houses are now going to be
Yeah.
worth 70.
That's not what happened.
That is the last thing that was on the bottom of the
not
list.
what happened.
So I was really excited. Our ownership was excited. I was excited. Our clients have been excited.
Right.
From July to December, we had almost a record 6 months. So
Right.
what a
And December was the best month.
and December was the best month of the year. Best month of the year in December.
2020.
Yes, 2020. Hashtag 2020.
Yeah.
So I don't, talking about to wrap that up, to wrap up 2020, I don't know that we'll ever see a dip and
Yeah.
rise like that again.
Right.
I was in real estate in 2008. I think you were just in middle school?
Something like
Shut
that.
up, Brooke.
I don't even know. We won't do the math. I'll spare
Let's
you.
don't. Let's please don't. Yes. So in 2008, I was in that. It wasn't nearly as bad now as it was then.
Right.
I mean, like it was a ghost town
Yeah.
compared to then. So, I was excited to see us rebound and come back. In December, I think we closed in December 36. 41. So 41 deals closed in December is one of our better months.
Sure.
We've been in the 50s before, but that is one of our better months, especially for 2020. It was our best month.
Right.
Okay, so now we close the book on 20. It's over. 2021. Just an opinion. No one's holding you to this because Lord only knows what's coming in the next few weeks. But what do you look for in 2021 outside of adding to the Fitzpatrick family?
Yeah.
Yeah, Brooke's not going to be here, guys. So
No.
so hold on. But what are you looking for just from a sales standpoint in
Right.
2021?
Well, I mean, we really saw a dip in houses at the end.
The availability of
Right.
them.
Well, I mean, we were getting houses, but they were priced to where we couldn't really
All right,
do
so let me ask you this.
anything.
Do you think that when you say dip in houses, what she means is like we were not receiving
Right.
as
Right.
as many houses to
So
sell
the
from?
off-market houses, we were just not getting hardly any.
Is that the time of the year or is it
I mean,
they're harder to find?
They're just harder to find.
Yeah.
And I mean, the ones we were getting, they were priced to where they should be on the market.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they were priced at retail prices, still needed repairs. So, I mean,
It's hard to
weren't-
move them.
Right. They weren't making sense for anyone.
So in 2021, it's too early to this is this today the 6th?
6th.
So it's too early to really tell
Right.
how they're going to come this year, but
I'm hoping it kind of flat lines, and then we'll start to see, the houses go back to the prices that they should be at.
which is just a little lower than where we're at right
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of people have asked me that question, like, "Hey, do you stop buying right now when it's good?" And my question is,
if you still find a good deal,
if you still find a good deal, or if you still find something that will fit into your numbers, right?
It's your strategy.
It's your strategy. I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he said the same question.
Right.
Dean, should I stop and wait and see what's going on? From a price standpoint, he was like, "Do you think they're going to dip?" And I'm like, "Look,
we have no idea.
I have no clue." But here's
I wish we knew.
Yeah, God, I'd have something.
We could take a break for a couple months and then come back.
Come back. Isn't that true?
Yeah.
So I told the guy this. I said, "Look, you know, if it fits into your buy box, buy it. You're not going to sit here in 20 years when they're paid off and go, man."
I paid $5,000 more.
Like, back in 2021, I paid $5,000 more than I should for that house. Dang it! No, you're all you're concerned with is paying those off and getting it done. So
if it's bringing in money,
if it's cash flowing and it fits into your 15-year, 20-year payoff plan, then move forward. What's the difference? So, and I'm not just talking out of one side and doing the other. I bought homes this year that I didn't think I'd ever pay that much for, but they fit into my 15-year payoff plan. So what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
So do you think, it's one thing that just popped into my head. Are you hearing any foreclosure talk? None.
No.
I think we're going to get some from the stimulus checks, the help with rent. I think we're going to get some of the homeowners who, this is in 2021, probably around the summertime to the third quarter, we're going to start seeing those people that, because, you know, you could do the deferred payment for 6 months. Yeah, but they're not going to put those 6 on the back end of your 30-year note. They're going to run those into the next payments and divide them out. And there's going to be some people that still can't do that. We're going to start to see some foreclosures come in, which will be good for our investors. It'll be some slower pricing and just better deals. So this year, that's what I predict. I wrote here, COVID, what we initially see from COVID and what ended up happening. I mean, that the result was last year, the sharp dip, and then now the last 6 month rise. Right. So I'm hoping now that the election part is passed and all of that is behind us. Well, I guess today it'll be behind us, and we can continue to move on. And I believe,
and the shock factor
of the election part is done. Right.
Yeah. Of everything.
Because do you that's a great point. Do you credit our December to that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, so many people were just shocked to start with in COVID in March.
And then it's like, holy crap, an election.
Yeah, and then the election came up, and then the shock of that. So I think after everything settles, then people start to get more comfortable, start to buy, start to sell.
And I don't even think it was a matter of who won an election. I think it's just the fact
unknown.
That it was over.
Yeah.
The fact that it moved past that, and the world didn't stop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the world didn't end, and
we're still alive.
We're still alive, and the world's not going to end. And no matter who it is, I'm just excited that that's behind us.
Right.
And we can begin to focus on other stuff and let our country run itself. So that is what I see coming from a foreclosure standpoint in 21. Price points.
I think they'll stay steady for the first few months for sure.
Okay.
I think so.
I love because your role is different than mine now.
Right. I'm on the market every day.
You're on the very front line of this, and that's why I've had you on today. So I want to. You think we're going to hold?
I think we'll hold for a few months.
Q2, you think we'll start to shift?
I hope so. Because the prices, they've definitely been the top of the market. Yeah. Whether the house be
good shape or bad shape.
Yeah.
People
they've just been at the top of the market because sellers think that they can get that, and they might.
Until
they're
people
selling.
Say no.
Yeah, exactly.
The market will tell you.
That's why I think it's going to hold steady for a couple of months because they're still selling. They're still going quick.
We have 27 set to close in January.
Yeah, I think 27, 28, something like that.
We cancel 10 every month because the condition or something else we find out. So it's going to
be another lower month, but
18 to 25.
We expect that for January
now
usually.
Brooke. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. Now Brooke. No, I agree with you on the price point.
Right.
I agree that I think it's going to hold steady for now.
Yeah. Especially those houses in Bartlett and Cordova.
The desirable stuff is just the desirable stuff.
They're going to hold. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like Q2 maybe.
Yeah.
But I do feel like in Q3, I think we'll stabilize. And I think
that's
You'll start seeing some foreclosures come in. Now the home that used to appraise for $90,000 on the street, there's 2 foreclosures on there at 50.
So it's bringing it down.
It's going to bring it down.
Right.
So not down to 50, but it's going to bring it down 10 grand.
Right.
Just like the turnkey sales take everything up, right? So I think we'll see a tick with that. 2021 outlook, the burst strategy is back.
Strategy, yeah.
The strategy, but the homes are tougher to find.
The homes are hard to find.
Yeah, we're having a hard time getting, and here's why. Turnkey providers have to have these homes to sell to their turnkey clients. They are willing to pay an astronomical amount for that because they don't really care about the flip process.
Right.
They need another home to manage.
Right.
They need another home for a client. If they make $5,000 on the flip, fine.
So I have a lot of clients that ask me, well, why would anyone pay this much for this house when it needs this much in rehab?
Yeah.
And they're like, whose strategy would that ever work for? And it's those people.
It's the turnkey providers that it works for because they're not interested really in a profit on the flip. I mean, they need one and they'll take one, but the main goal is to satisfy their client base that's waiting on a house.
Right.
And then 2, they want to manage that home. It's an easy manage home because everything's new. So price points and the burst strategy price points are going to be big. It's a weird how the market went. And so when I came back here in 2017, that's all people wanted to do was to burr. That's it.
And you could find them.
And you could find
a lot of them.
We renamed it Turnkey Alternative. You've probably heard of that. It's the same
process.
Same process, identical. And I used to always tell people, hey, we didn't invent this.
Yeah.
I guess the Burr slogan came from bigger pockets. Yeah.
Right.
So we were doing that program here. It went really well. I remember it was so busy with those. I was recording 5-minute videos to explain it.
Out.
Well, I was having 45-minute phone calls.
Right. The same call.
All day long. Right. The same call, everything. So
conversation.
I recorded that video.
Right.
It might actually, I'm going to write that down. I might need to do that again.
Might need to do another one.
Yeah. So we were seeing that and now we have to adjust and we've got to find contractors.
Right.
So we've got 2 guys right now that are working really well for us. Windsor Stockton and A-Win Services and Dan Fitzgerald here in-house with Crestcore. So we're giving you 2 options for this. We don't care which one you use. Right. The biggest thing that I tell investors is that I use them both.
Right.
Windsor just got finished with one for me. Dan's got one coming up when the tenant vacates. So
they're looking for the same thing.
Right. We took the checklist, guys, from property management. We went down that list and made sure that both companies are searching for both and checking both things. So when you turn it over to property management, they don't come to you and say, oh, by the way, there's another $1,500 and stuff that we need to do here. So we're trying our best to coordinate with property management to get the things that they're going to check on here as well. So Windsor, Stockton, and Dan, we'll put you in touch with them once we get the property under contract. They both charge $200. They get the itemized rehab bid, a link for pictures, and a video.
Yep.
Real cool thing we're doing on the video now. We're going to record it on a YouTube closed channel, and we're going to send you guys that link. So that's coming. We haven't even started it, but we've opened up the account now, and Windsor's going to start doing that this week. So the good news is you've got 2 options. And by the way, we don't ever care. You can use your own.
Right. If you have someone, we're happy to schedule it.
If you have a contractor here, that's fine. We don't. That's one of the main things I like to make sure to tell all of our investors. We have property management, we have contractors, inspectors, and closing attorneys, and title, and insurance, everything. But you're not obligated to use any of it. I use all of it. So that's one thing that I like to tell everybody.
Right.
Insight Risk Management has an umbrella policy on my homes. I close everything with local title.
Yep.
Windsor and Dan do all of my rehabs.
Yeah.
So, the good part of that is that I'm using them. I'm on top of them as well as referring them out to you. So that's good. Property management. We have seen some dramatic changes in our property management division. I know you guys work with them closer than I do. What are you seeing over there? What positives can we take away? Matt Jones is now our new, what are they calling him?
Property manager overall.
I don't know what his name Matt Jones is actually now over the property management division. I'll have to do a better job
so you
of
have
getting his title.
The district property managers
who
are over the houses
their
and their areas. And then
Matt's
Matt
over
is
them.
over them.
So district, we call them DPMs, district
Right.
portfolio managers. They've sectioned them off into the parts of the city.
Right.
So if you have homes in one area, you'll work with that person. Now, if you have homes in multiple, they're just going to stick you with one
Right.
person.
For
You don't
the
have to deal with
portfolio.
everybody. Yeah.
Sure.
So the DPMs are there for you, and their assistants are there
Yep.
for you, and then Matt Jones is over those guys. And I've seen a dramatic
Yeah.
change in the last 6 months in processes and accountability in the
Right.
property management division. And I don't want to talk negative about property management, but I'll tell you this: it's tough.
Yeah.
No matter where you go,
For sure.
it's tough. Property managers have a tough job.
Right.
So anyway, they have done a really good job over the last few months to clean some of that up, and I'm excited kind of about.
Yeah. I mean,
what they have
yesterday
coming.
I even got a client that said he started managing with CrestCore, I think 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It's going so well, he wants to buy again.
To buy again.
Right.
There's what you hope.
Yeah.
Hey, this is super
Right.
easy. Those guys are handling everything.
Exactly.
Let's come back to
Let's
Dean
do
and
it
Brooke
again.
and let's do it again.
A lot of people start off with one house. They say, let's see how this goes.
Yeah.
If that goes well, we'll go again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what we live
That's
off
what we
of.
live off of. I'm, and again, not obligated to manage here.
Yeah.
If you manage somewhere else, that's
That's fine.
okay. We're all right with that. Our main goal here, and this is another thing I tell all investors, is we're in the same boat with you. I buy rental property. I'm in the same boat. Brooke sees these things every day, and it's the most important thing to us is that your portfolio is moving
Right.
smoothly, right? Whether it's with us, which is easier for us to manage,
Right.
or if it's with somebody that you've chosen to deal with, which is fine. We just want the portfolio to be running and operating smoothly for you. So what else? What else? Other hopes, dreams outside of a smooth baby delivery are you looking for in 2021?
I'm just hoping the prices come back down.
Yeah.
I mean, we want the best for our clients.
Yeah.
And that's
Cheaper product.
right. That's hard to do when the prices are so high.
What are you seeing when guys are going out to property now? What is the biggest either complaint of what they're seeing or positive or what they're seeing? Like when we send out Windsor and we send out
Right.
Dan. And
I
that
mean, the
comes
houses
back.
are definitely in better condition.
Now?
Yes.
Really?
So we're not really finding a ton of houses that just need a whole rehab.
Because those have been
Those
purchased.
have been done. Yeah. So, I mean, so many people, I think, did the burst strategy that the houses that are reselling at this point
Yeah.
have already been rehabbed. So, I mean, they may need your rent-ready,
Yeah.
normal stuff, but they're not going to need a full flip.
When you say rent ready, we kind of cut that off at paint and floors, right?
Yeah.
A full rehab,
Cosmetics.
a full
Sometimes
rehab.
a roof. Sometimes.
Full rehabs go into HVAC,
Yeah,
furnace, water
everything.
heater, roof,
Yes.
reno the kitchen, and all that.
Right. So, I mean, really, the most expensive rehab I've seen lately has probably been $15,000 to $20,000, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
No. So that house, we want to buy it for 50 and it needs to be worth 85.
Right.
Yeah. And we're seeing that. Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. It is harder.
It's harder to find for sure.
Yeah, it is harder. And
We're still looking.
right. And some investors might be out there going right now, well, God, I hadn't got anything from you guys in 2
Yeah.
months. Well,
That's why.
that's why.
Yeah.
And to explain that a little further, we don't send out every property.
Right. So
Sometimes
if we get a house that's
Yeah.
just in,
Yeah, explain that. Go ahead.
like I like to say 38106 or 38126, I don't touch it.
Yeah. I don't
Unless
either.
we have a couple of clients who may want it, but they have to be local. They have to be on the ball, ready to deal with.
You couldn't personally give
Stuff.
me one and say pay the taxes on it.
Yeah, no.
Not in 3126. 3106, there's some areas that I
Sometimes.
would be okay.
Yeah.
But 3126, which is right behind FedEx Forum,
Yeah.
right in downtown, you
don't.
couldn't say, "Hey Dean, I'm going to deed this over to you, pay the taxes,"
No, thanks.
because I could never sell it.
Right.
So we're seeing that's another thing, a part of 21 that I'm think we're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to see some areas where investors are going to
Yeah.
be willing to go,
Right.
where they weren't.
Right.
We've always said west of Highway 51 and 38127 is a
Right.
completely no-no. Now I'm seeing, I had a guy up there, the listing yesterday
Yeah.
on Sunrise, 70 grand. It's a complete turnkey
Yeah.
product. It'll rent for 750.
Yep.
There's been 2 sell on Sunrise in
Yeah.
the last 6 months for the same price. I would have never thought you could have gotten 70 grand.
And the same thing with 38109.
Same thing with 38109 west.
As long as you're not too far west.
So west of
for either one.
Yeah, you guys have heard us say this a million times. West of 61 and 38109 has been a no-no.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing people go over there and buy because they can't get the deals somewhere else. But that's not all bad, is it? No, because I mean it's almost uncharted territory. Yeah. So if you can start to fix and rehab those things.
So we're learning as we go.
We're learning as we go.
We're learning with our investors.
And I would be willing to take more of a chance in 38109 than 38127.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm glad to hear you agree to that.
Yeah,
Because
because I mean they still rent probably 750 to 800 if you're just west of 61.
Now, if you get
the
3 miles towards the river, it's tough.
But there's a lot of houses that are just west of Highway 61.
Like a
lot. A lot of neighborhoods.
A couple of thousand.
Yeah. So, I mean, the houses look good.
Yeah. That's going to be a big wait and see what happens.
Yeah.
Do we get into those areas? Do we start moving over into those and telling investors, hey, this area has now improved. There's been, 500 renovations in the last 2 months over here. This is going to be better. I'm curious to see that.
So we're still not really comfortable enough sending them out to clients to
not yet
tell them to buy. But
no, I need some more. I need a bigger sample size. I think I might go buy one over there. See how it goes. See how it works. I'm me. I like to own and buy what I'm selling to my clients. So I might go down there and see what I can find and see what happens just to see where that market's at. Because I think that's going to happen. I think parts of 114 are going to become desirable.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That's Orange Mound. It's historically been a place where you're like,
you hear Orange Mound and you're like,
no way.
Nope.
That's a stigma in Memphis because it's a community and it's historically been tough.
Right.
Crime and jobs and just different stuff. But parts of 38111 are really good, the Sherwood Forest area, and that will stay strong. They sell immediately.
Right.
So I'm wondering if 114 we creep over.
Yeah.
Even on the Lamar Highway 78, which is Lamar, Dan has always talked about. You guys have heard Dan Butler talk about this, but Midtown moving and pressing on to Lamar. And even pressing over Lamar, we got some guys flipping there, in big houses, and they're trying to make that work over there. And
it's hard to tell sometimes because the comps are just.
And I don't send those out.
No.
Because I think from my standpoint, when an investor gets a home from me, he wants to know, hey, this is going to work.
Yeah.
And there's no guarantees in life, and especially investing. But the closest thing I can give you is proof in the pudding. Yeah. And if I can't show you proof in the pudding.
Right. We've done this area over and over and over.
It's tough for me to say, hey, take a chance.
Yeah.
Now, if I can come over there and like Western Park is a street that I would be interested in owning on. And 38109 west of 61. I would be willing to try over there on Western Park.
I've seen
Brick
quite
homes.
A few houses on Western Park.
Yeah, available?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll send that one to you next time.
Yeah, please. Dean, are you ready? Hurry up. So I'll look at Western Park and see. But what else do you think? So we talked about the foreclosures. We talked about the Burr is back. We're talking a little bit about property management, and then we think we're going to see some people expand into areas more than what they have.
Right.
Prior. Anything else? What else are you looking for in 21?
I think the buy and holds are still steady. I mean, I don't think they're going anywhere.
No.
We're
Occupied cash flowing properties.
Yeah. We're still finding them 1% or better.
Yeah.
We're not really finding the 2%, but we're finding 1 to 1.5.
We could find 2%, but we don't recommend investors buy anything under $750 or $800. Exactly. You can get a 2% in a $500 rental, but I don't know that you want a $500.
Works on paper.
It's fool's gold.
Yeah.
It's it'll spreadsheet well, and it looks great, but there's
hidden treasure.
Hidden treasure, hidden doom. Yeah.
Hidden something.
Yeah. And hidden anything in investment real estate is not good. I prefer.
It's not going to be hidden gold.
No.
You're not finding gold.
You're never going to find a missing pot of gold. No. You're going to find a missing hole in the floor or whatever it may be.
Missing copper pipes.
Well, they love that copper, man. The copper's worth something. So I don't. That's overall. I think we're going to hold steady.
Yep.
I think our market is going to continue to be good and thrive.
It's still a good market.
Absolutely. I think the foreclosures are going to help.
Right.
Help in the sense of maybe bring prices down
Right.
a tad. Rent is going to stay steady.
Yeah.
We're not going to see a spike in rent or a
slowly
huge drop off.
slowly going up.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's to be expected.
That's right. And to be expected with these prices.
Right.
And if people are willing to pay it, they're going to get it.
Exactly.
When they'll stop
Yeah.
is when things will start to go down. And I would imagine we'll settle in 2021.
So if you want to sell,
well, I think
it's a good time to
I
sell.
will say that, Brooke. I'm glad you brought that up. We were going to record a video after this for listings. We market to all of our property management clients,
Right.
To if they're ready to sell, to let us sell it for them. If you are ready to sell, it's now.
For sure.
I wouldn't say wait till the fourth quarter, third or fourth quarter,
because we don't know what's
you
gonna
don't know,
happen.
and with some foreclosures, we could see a little dip in price. There's nothing. I don't want to come across as threatening or scaring. We're not going to take any kind of nosedive from a value, but will it flatten out and will it begin to creep down a little bit?
Probably.
Yes. Then all of a sudden, the only homes that can get up here to this value are great shape, good condition, turnkey, and then the ones that aren't are going to go even lower. So if you are thinking about selling, if you've thought about selling in 20 and you're going to be thinking about selling in 21, now's the time to do it. I would not wait till even Q2. I would go ahead and get in touch with us. We'll give you a value and we'll try to get it, because we do have a list of people waiting.
Yes.
I've got people that are literally
they're ready to go.
Dean, when you have a home that makes sense in a good area, I'm ready to buy it. So if you are that seller and you've thought about it, let us know. Dean at crestcore.com, Brooke at crestcore.com, and we'll get you that value and help you out on there. Anything else today?
I think that's it.
Brooke, first of many podcasts this year. She's going to be out in March. April
and May. No. March and April. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. See how stressed I am. If I'm suicidal yet, I'll let you know.
Please come back.
So we'll see. That's coming up in March, so you guys have time to get in touch with us before then. But yeah, anything selling, buying, let us know. You can get in touch with us. CrestcoreRealty.com has all of our information on it. Appreciate you guys tuning in today. See you in 2 weeks on Wednesday.
Listening to